I don't think it's an exaggeration to say that my youth intake this year at Guernsey has possibly been the worst youth intake I think I've ever had. In fact, I'm not signing any of these players. None of them are worth my time. The one player I did consider was Rod Clark, who has a mohawk and is Japanese. I guess Rod is a traditional Japanese name or something. I mean, you can see it here. It's just not very good. So as a result, I've got rid of the old head of youth development, Darren, whatever his name was. I've got in a new man, Clayton Green, 31 years old, has much better attributes, and whilst his determination and personality aren't the best, he does have pretty good preferred formation and tactical style for the kind of players that we'd like to get in our youth intake. So maybe we'll have more luck next year. You might have noticed it as well. Don't rub your eyes. We're in April. I've played a lot of Football Manager today. We're going to end the season. Yeah. Let's run the intro and then I'll explain further. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to Park to Prem. Today we are here to conclude season number 3, and the plan of attack is to beat Yate Town away, and with that win, secure the title. Secure automatic promotion with a fair few games to spare. I did and ah about when to come back for an episode, what game to do, how to do it, whether or not I should do an episode today and then another episode over the weekend of the end of the season. But I've decided instead, today we're going to get promoted. I'm then going to do all the end of season spiel. And then on Sunday, you know the plan. We'll do a transfer special because then it all lines up. So if you want that transfer special on the weekend to coincide with a World Cup final, make sure we get to 5,000 likes on this video. We've done it every week. You've achieved it every time. I could up the goal a little. I think last time you guys hit 7,000. So bonus points if you surpass 7,000. But 5,000 likes, another episode Sunday. Now, given the fact it has been 4 months since we were last here, we've played a fair few games, I think 12 or 13 in total. I have also made a couple of transfers. The first, Ollie Eagle, loaned out. The youngster who was a bit of a backup for us has gone to our old rivals in Wimborne Town, the team that we stole Farquad from. I kind of feel bad for them, so I've given them Ollie Eagle in the hope he can get them closer to the playoffs. Right now they're in 7th. They're also in quite a lot of debt. By comparison, our bank balance looks rather healthy, and with that healthy balance, I have picked up 2 new players. The first, Jordan Young. This guy, a player who has come in on a pay-as-you-go contract. Good little backup player who can play a couple of different positions. We were a little bit short in the left mid position. He comes in to cover that base and then some, and well, when we've called upon him in one sub appearance, he didn't play long enough to get an average rating. So hard to judge this is a good or bad transfer. It's not cost us anything. And one Scottish player who has joined us, who has cost us some money, is Tony Gallagher, 25 years old. This man came through the Falkirk Academy, went to Liverpool, had a spell in Toronto, lovely city. I wouldn't be biased, of course. Since then, he's been playing for St Johnstone for the last few years, but he was released at the end of last season. It kind of got to February time, I think, and he still didn't have a job. Yeah, the 2nd of February, still didn't have a new club. He lowered his expectations so low, he's decided to come join us. Yeah, he's not great when it comes to important matches, but he can play on the left, he can play on the right. If we absolutely had to, he could also play centre-back for us. And I think for the price we paid, which is nothing, and 200 squid a week, it's a good deal. Now, in previous Park to Prems over the last couple of years where I've been moving around teams, coaching badges has been something that's really important, and my own personal development. I'll level with you, there's not been that much personal development that I've talked about so far because we're not moving clubs. We're here for the long haul. That said, I have been studying coaching badges and stuff. Probably should have mentioned this sooner. We have a National B licence. Of course, it goes National C, National B. We are now studying for our National A as well, although it is a little way away. We have also signed a new deal at the club for a further 2 seasons, which is great. And over the past 3 years as a football manager, I have actually got a little bit better than our starting attributes were once upon a time. You can see them on full display here. They're still not very impressive. What is perhaps slightly more impressive is just how good our form has been. As a creator, I want my series to kind of continue to progress, but at the same time, I want you guys to be able to connect with players. It's a bit of a balancing act in a season like this where we have been so dominant because, on the one hand, I want you to see the players in action and feel a connection to them. At the same time, I don't want to feel like I'm dragging out seasons for the sake of it. That is why, since we played Aldershot on the 11th of January, I've played all of these matches, of which most have been wins. A 3-1 win against Hendon was followed by the only defeat in this run of games against Dorchester. I even played a full-strength team in this game. As you can tell by the lack of green on any ratings, everyone was rubbish. Since that defeat, though, we have remained unbeaten, just one game where we dropped points, some convincing wins along the way. A 5-4 against Truro was a little bit of a classic, and by a little bit of a classic, I mean this game was absolutely bonkers. We had 3 goals in added time, but we did come away with a win. Another one of the games that we absolutely have to talk about was this game against Chesham away from home. We won 2-1. We didn't deserve to win this game. They missed a penalty in the 9th minute, and then madness happened. With 89 minutes on the clock, it was 0-0, and it was the kind of game which, when they scored, I just thought the game was over. Stratford with a tap-in. I decided to go on the attack, despite the fact we hadn't really offered anything, and then madness happened. I don't know if Kyle Farquhar knew anything about this goal. I think that might have been a shot by Livingston, but it hit Kyle on the head, hit the post and went in, and seconds later, less than a minute later, it was 1-1, and then all of a sudden, it was 2-1. It was NLBM arriving into the box. The ball in was superb. And this was an absolute smash and grab. I still don't know now how we won this game 2-1. Besides that, though, some largely convincing wins. 3-0 against Muddersfield, 2-0 against Hungerford. Poole Town we beat 3-1. Bognor Regis, the only game we failed to win as of, the run that we've been on since February. In this game, it was 0-0. We did also miss a penalty in this game, which was a little bit unfortunate. Since then, though, we got 2 further wins, the second of which was against Salisbury. We won this one 1-0. Salisbury were in third. With this result, they dropped down a spot. This was a good win, and it's a win that sees us sit top of the table. Currently, there are 7 games left of the season, so 21 potential points. And as things stand, we are 19 points ahead of Bognor Regis. So if we win today's game, no matter what, we win the league, and in the process, we would hit 29 wins, which is actually a record for this division. This has been a rather dominant season. Carl Farquhar has been the main man. 37 goals to his name. NLBM chipping in with 29. Tyler Forbes, this might be the last time we see him in a live commentary. 12 goals to his name. 7 assists as well. He's been a great little player. Despite everything, though, he's still adamant he's leaving on a free transfer at the end of his contract. I'm not 100% sure if players can change their mind. I thought they could in this situation, but I feel like I've done everything I can, and it's still not been enough. In terms of assists, Zach Atkinson has been absolutely immense out on the left, as has Will Merry out on the right. These 2 wide players, 2 players who really fit into the more attacking system. Of course, Merry has no concept of the deeper wide midfielder role, and it's not too dissimilar for Atkinson, although we have been training him to play left mid. He's largely been playing as this left attacking mid, and these 2 players have been 2 who have absolutely shone this season. They've been at the heart of everything we've done, and really it's been our raw firepower that's carried us this season. Perhaps in saying that, I am doing a disservice to the defence, because Scott Williams sits on a 7.32, Minoga is on a 7.332. Unfortunately for Williams, of course, on loan this season from Blackpool, apparently they think he should be tested in a different environment, and they don't want to loan him to us. Yeah, he might be leaving at the end of the year. Today, Yate Town, no idea if they have a nice stadium or not. Apparently, what's it called? Lodge Road. I mean, it looks like it's in the middle of nowhere from the pictures. Let's go find it on Google Maps. So for the final Jack Dozen away day of the season, we are heading north, and we are heading to just north of Bristol and to Yate. And there should be a football stadium here. It's concerning when there's not a green patch on the map, but I think this is the place. And I can confirm, having turned on satellite view, this is the place. This really does look like a stadium in the middle of nowhere. Okay, so it's just down this road, and apparently Christmas trees have been moved down to Yate Town Football Club. Apparently it's 200 yards this way. I don't want to alarm anyone. I think the stadium is the other side of this hedge. Let's keep moving down the road and see if we can see anything. I mean, there's some green there. Is that the pitch? I was hoping we might see some Christmas trees after the sign, but I've just noticed this is taken in April 2009. So this is slightly dated, and unfortunately, I think this is the clubhouse here. Yeah, welcome to Yate Town. I think this is the best view we're going to get at the pitch today. I can't go any further, and from the looks of it, we really are in the middle of nowhere. So here is the Jelf Stadium. I mean, it is a very picturesque ground. You know, big trees grown so that no one could sneak in for free. Got a couple of smaller stands, and I mean, it's not the most grandest of stadiums. Most grandest. Good English. It's not quite Aldershot, is it? But, I mean, it's quite picturesque, I suppose, if nothing else. I feel like The big trees are kind of giving me flashbacks to when you're a little kid playing football in the park and you lose a ball in the tree. I imagine that's probably a nightmare here. Somewhat difficult to judge a stadium based off what we've just seen there, but given the fact they sell Christmas trees at the football club at Christmas, and I'm feeling Christmassy with Christmas not being far away, I'll give them a charitable 2.5 out of 10. Might be being a bit generous there. Given the fact it could be the last time we ever see him play live, I am actually going to start Forbes today. I'm feeling charitable. Elsewhere, worth noting that Scott Williams isn't in the team. Given our current league position and the fact we're going to be without Williams, it kind of makes sense to prepare for the next chapter. And to be honest, Purcell and Minoga have played rather well together. Hoping and expecting for a rather emphatic performance to secure the title today. It'd be nice to do it in style. Obviously, at this point in the season, there's maybe a bit of complacency coming in with players, but I want to try and keep things focused. Would be a little bit awkward if we don't secure the title in this match, because I really don't want to have to do another match in today's episode. Yate have won their last 2 games, and we've had one shot inside the first 20 minutes. I say that there might be a chance here. Bycroft, who has been absolutely immense for us in goal, launches it forward. NLBM underneath it, couldn't win the header, but we do get the second ball. Forbes to Iwimene. Atkinson on a yellow card, but our main creative outlet crosses it in. It's blocked. NLBM picks it up. It's blocked again, but somehow it falls to Tyler Forbes, and he scores in off the post. This was a bit like the Alvarez goal in the World Cup, wasn't it? Every time it bounced off a defender, it just seemed to fall where it needed to for us, and in the end, that is not a bad finish. Dylan Crowe, free kick, hit from range, and oh my word. I mean, that's come from absolutely nowhere. We double our lead on the cusp of half-time, and Dylan Crowe, arguably at least on paper the worst player in our starting 11, has just pulled out an absolute screamer of a free kick. Wasn't expecting that to go in there. I'll be honest, I wasn't ready to commentate it, but Dylan Crowe's caught me out. He's caught out the Yate goalkeeper. We are 2 goals to the good. We don't need to overcomplicate things here. Iwimene, with the ball at his feet, turns inside and goes back to Gallagher. Of course, Gallagher making his live commentary debut at left back today. Ball played forward, but unsuccessfully finds NLBM. Merry's there to mop up the pieces, and now NLBM is through. Options in the middle, tries to go on his own, and misses the target. With 20 minutes left, I am going to bring in Farquad to end out this game. Forbes is going to come off the pitch, our captain donning the armband. If this is the last time we've seen him, we got to see him score a goal. Round of applause from the 2 away fans as he leaves the pitch. With 15 minutes left, I'd like to get Kyle Farquad a few goals. I don't think he's going to be able to get the golden boot. Probably because I keep subbing him off for Forbes and being all sentimental. Maybe it's my fault. Crowe on the far side throws it down to Kyle, fresh off the bench, but, well, apparently too fresh. Apparently he's not warmed up and up to pace with this game. He's been caught out of possession. We do still have it, though, and Iwimene is going to give it back to Minoga. Now with Dylan Crowe, Farquad with it. Lovely build-up play. NLBM, I thought was through for a second. A great tackle came in, but it fell straight to Kyle Farquad, who snags goal number 39 of the season. That's mad. That's a lot of goals. Not entirely sure what happened here. Tackle came in and no one reacted except Carl, who hit it first time. Could the keeper have done better? Probably. I'm not going to complain, though. Bycroft goal kick is going to launch it long towards NLBM. Doesn't win the ball in the air, but Merry is there for the second ball. Mitchell, though, battling hard for Yates. Not giving up just yet. And they might even have a chance here. Bateson, he's through. He's scored. He's also got hair. That's not the Bateson I thought it was. Maybe one last highlight here, right at the very death. I mean, if Yate get one more back, do I need to panic? I hope not. We might even have an opportunity. They're committing men forward. We're committing men forward. And it's NLBM in behind, hits it. It's blocked. The keeper makes a massive save. It falls to Merry. It's one of the weirdest goals I've seen all year. I'm not going to complain. 4 minutes of added time. The clock is about to strike. Well, I was about to say 94 minutes and the whistle was going to go. No, there's maybe one more chance here. Merry back post. NLBM's got in on the action. It's 5-1. It's game over. Give us the trophy and let us hoist it. This has been a really weird season. I felt like we'd recruited well. We went into the season as favourites, but to be honest, the players have really performed to a level that I wasn't sure was possible with the squad that we had. And obviously, throughout the season, we've added a few more players of real quality. The FA Cup run gives me hope for next season. Financially, we're in a great spot in terms of, well, league performance. We couldn't have done much better than we have. And with that said, let's enjoy watching this trophy get hoisted aloft. Up next, The Vanarama National South. I want to be competing for the playoffs. I'd love to be in a race for the title, much like we have been this year. I think we've got some real quality. We showed it in the Cup, but I feel like doing it on a consistent basis, both home and away in the league, is a slightly different proposition. Board have set the budgets for this year. They've not increased the transfer budget, but the wage budget is now up at £9,500 a week, which is not an insignificant sum of money. I think by comparison, it was previously at 7,000, so it's about a 2,500 increase. Just to put that number in a little bit of perspective, this season we have the 4th highest salary per year in the league. Bognor Regis, Truro and Basingstoke ahead of us. Of course, largely funded by the Williams sale. With the FA Cup run that we've had this year, we're going to be able to maintain this similar level of spend, which I think is going to serve us well next season. Looking at the league we're going to be promoted into, of course, we are spending currently £199,000 a season. By comparison, this is how it looks in the Vanarama National League South. There definitely is a little bit of a jump up as we now take a promotion into the national leagues. The board are delighted. The fans are thanking me. Am I an icon yet at the club? Have I moved into the icon area? Maybe that was a bit ambitious, but we are in the favourite personnel alongside the likes of Forbes and Shitayo. Speaking of Shitayo, he's told me he wants to leave at the end of next season as well. Crown champions with 6 games left really is a testament to how dominant we've been this season. Obviously, I felt like we'd recruited well. I think the FA Cup run gave us a lot of confidence, and really it's a bit of momentum and a bit of quality in our team that has carried us forward this season. That said, the season doesn't officially end until we play Basingstoke right at the end of May. With that in mind, I'm going to go play all the games that lead up to that and that one. I'm going to join you at the end of the season to look at awards, plan for next season, and talk about where we might be spending some money in Sunday's transfer special. Of course, assuming that today's video gets 5,000 likes. So if you've not already done it, go down now. If your girlfriend's got an iPad, or your partner's got an iPad, or your grandma's got an iPad, go find it and log in on their YouTube account and like this video as well. Okay, we're now at the end of the season. I can't quite believe how quickly I've been playing through this save game, but it's kind of a testament to how much I'm enjoying it. We've all been in that situation, right? You're playing Football Manager and you just can't put it down. That is me right now at Guernsey. Just to look at the league table, we already knew we'd win the league. We did break 100 points. We didn't break it by a massive amount in the end. We still set a points record, so let's not try play it down too much. 117 goals scored on the 4 column. The goals against, I mean, we conceded 42 in 42. Bognor Regis conceded 25 in 42. Everyone else in this league conceded at least 1 goal a game. Yeah, it certainly seems like in the current match engine at this lower level, teams just don't really know how to defend. Now, of course, with it being the end of season, we have the end of season review. And for the 2nd year in a row, there is a little bit of silverware on show. As you can see here, new transfer arrivals. Minoga actually picked up signing of the season. Despite the fact he only joined us halfway through the year, he's managed to weasel his way into this award, which, I mean, on the one hand, I'm surprised he's managed to do it in just 22 games. I suppose when you see the 7.48 rating, it makes a little bit more sense. And also when you see how good he is, it kind of makes sense he's quite a good signing. But considering some of the other players in this list, like NLBM, who got 37 goals and 9 assists, I can't help but feel like NLBM was robbed. Elsewhere, Iwimene appears fairly high up in the charts here on a 7.3 rating. He actually missed the end of the season because he was with Poland at the Under-20s World Cup. And if you were wondering how they did at the World Cup, they lost in the quarterfinals to Cameroon. But they did beat Portugal after extra time. Did Iwimene even play? Gone through all the games, he was on the bench every single one, didn't actually make an appearance. Elsewhere, though, we really did add some good quality to the team this season, and it kind of leaves me in a situation where this coming season, I don't think the transfer special is going to involve us signing a load of players. I think we're going to be looking at maybe 3 or 4 positions and certain roles within the squad to fulfill. I didn't quite realise how many players we've taken from Southampton, but the reality of the situation kind of settles in when you see it like this. And also Bournemouth players. Shout out to Bournemouth and Southampton. You guys helped us out this season. In the FA Cup, board confidence of an A-. Not sure what we could have done to get an A+ in this one. Of course, we crashed out against Aldershot in the end. 4-3 though. a pretty crazy game. Carl Farquhar, 7 goals to his name in this competition. This player has been our main man, of course, signed on a free transfer, 34 goals and 10 assists in the league this season, a 7.77 rating. And, well, good news, his contract runs until the end of next year. He has also got a 1-year extension after promotion. Not so good news. I do have to up his wages by 25% now that we've gone up. And goal of the season, we just seen it. It was Dylan Crow's free kick against Yate. An absolute banger from range, deserved winner. Well done, Dylan. Not won a whole lot of things this year. One of the players I might be looking to replace this coming season, but 6 goals in 31? He did okay at right back. So this is where things are a little bit different this year, the finances and overall rep. Our reputation is up to 1 whole star, so get in there. The FA Cup run certainly helped with that. You can see here, competition prize money, £147,000 made. The vast majority of that is the FA Cup money, and on top of that, matchday income was also much, much better. Again, largely thanks to the FA Cup, where, well, let's be honest, it defied our season. It dominated our season in episodes, and it has been the thing that's really, I feel like it's kept the feel-good factor going in at Guernsey. If we hadn't had that run, the finances would be absolutely crap right now. You can see the team that we lined up with this season. Not entirely surprising to see the sea of green in the final third. Atkinson and Merry turning providers for our strikers in the middle. Atkinson, 21 assists in the end. Will Merry with 16. The players slightly deeper, the likes of Iwumene and Osborne also chipped in with a fair few. Osborne, by the way, 7 goals to his name. That is not too shabby. I feel like we saw half of them in episodes. This season, we dominated the Manager of the Month award as we dominated the league season. 6 times I won it, so I'm going to guess that come the end of the year, I will be Manager of the Year. Fans Player of the Season went to Farquhar. He also got Young Player of the Season. Goal of the Season we already talked about was Dylan Crow. Atkinson got the most assists with 21, but it really was the Farquhar show this season. And in terms of records broken, a fair few broken here. Most goals in a match, and LBM breaking that record with 4 goals. Also broke the league record in doing that. And for a 20-year-old who was considered very injury-prone, I feel very fortunate to say he didn't really have any injuries this year. So thank you, NLBM. Fantastic player. A player who I'd like to keep around, but if the right offer came in for the 20-year-old, I might sell him. The overall best 11 at Guernsey has had a little bit of an update this season. Here it is on full display. A couple of players that you might notice are missing. The current player with the most appearances actually is Tyler Forbes on 97, followed by Scott Williams on 93. Forbes still hasn't changed his mind about wanting to leave the club. I've done everything I can. He's going. As for Scott Williams, I can't loan him. I've tried to loan him. Apparently they're unsure at this early point. They want to evaluate other options. So it could happen. It probably won't though. Good news for our Twitter account this season. We got 3,000 new followers. So we're up to 7,000 followers now. And you tell you what, we could get 3,000 new followers on my Twitter account. Outwork the space. Probably won't get 3,000 off the back of this shout out, but we can try and get close. There's a link down in the description. Follow me. I don't tweet about what food I eat and stuff. I promise. It's usually just about the new videos as they go up. I swear. So club vision for next season. The board want us to make the playoffs. I mean, I feel like we've got a good team, and I feel like we've shown that we're probably going to be up there competing off the back of our FA Cup run. But the fact they want immediate playoffs makes me feel like the bar is being set rather high to kick things off. Maybe that's a testament to the squad quality we have. What it does mean is I'm not going to be able to relax over the summer. One thing I am a little bit paranoid about is our team hierarchy. That because Forbes is leaving and Dylan Crow might be phased out the first team. Looking at the players waiting in the wings, I'm looking at the likes of Bycroft and Minoga, thinking you two are probably going to end up being the 2 leaders in this dressing room. Of course, Bycroft has 17 determination, which is great. His leadership's maybe a little bit lacking. As for Minoga, he has, well, a little bit of both, but really not a lot of either. 10 determination, 8 leadership. Doesn't really inspire confidence. That might be something we need to look to address in the summer. The players are on a break to the end of June. I soon will be too. But first, let's talk a little bit about where I'm thinking we need to strengthen going into next season. Now this year we have added quite a few new players to the first team across the team. It's been a gradual building process. It leaves me in a situation where this summer I'm not expecting a load of overhauls. I feel like Bycroft in goal has been great. Gallagher, albeit on a small sample size, has been looking pretty impressive at left back. since he joined us. Minoga at centre-back has been a really, really commanding presence at the back as well. That said, with Scott Williams leaving the team, probably I'm going to be looking to getting a new centre-back. Originally, I thought Minoga could do a job for us, but the more I've evaluated the likes of Reggie Evans and also Brandon Purcell, the more I'm starting to come around to the idea of maybe getting in a player maybe just a step above these two. I think that's definitely something that we can achieve with the recruitment and the budgets that we've got. Elsewhere, right back is a bit of a question mark. I don't hate Dylan Crowe. I quite like Dylan Crowe, but he is lacking a little bit of a something. If we just compare him with Minoga, who can also play right back, you start to realise Dylan Crowe he's probably not quite good enough to be a regular starter. At least with the direction that we're going, he is one of the obvious weak links in the team, and despite his good set-piece delivery, I think that is something that we can find elsewhere in the team. I feel like centre mid is an area where we are really, really blessed. We have rotated things around a lot this season between our 4 starters, Osborne, Iwemene, Vaughan and Tejera. Vaughan at periods this year was unhappy with his lack of first-team football. To be honest, I'm unhappy with his lack of development. Since he joined us right at the beginning of the save game, he's actually got worse as a footballer. I know I'm going to get asked this. Jack, how do you have the old squad depth screen from last year's Football Manager? This was removed from the game and replaced by the planner. Well, the new version of my skin, which will be dropping hopefully shortly after Christmas, has a few new things in it, and it also brings back a few old things like this screen, which for me personally, especially because you can see more than 3 players in every position, I feel like is a way better way of planning out your squad versus the actual squad planner and this screen here. I don't know if anyone else agrees or disagrees. Do you miss this screen? I miss this screen. I think this is a better version of, well, the new feature, which is a little bit awkward to admit. Wider areas, Atkinson and Merry have put in some good performances. If we were going to judge things purely off star rating, there'd perhaps be some questions over Atkinson, because he's only a 2-star current ability player, apparently. That said, apparently he is a player good enough for our current division, a player who could be good enough longer term for the Vanarama National League. With that in mind, I'm not in an immediate rush to replace him, but if the right left-footed winger option came about, maybe we would look to get them in. Besides that, though, I look at Merry, I look at Mabulu, and I look at Farquad, and I just feel like these are 3 players that have had exceptional seasons this year, and when I look at their ability, when I look at them objectively, they are players that I'm hoping are going to be more than capable of making that next step up. Particularly with some of our more recent additions, I feel like we've already been adding players for the league that we're going to go into. That certainly makes my job this summer a little bit easier. Just as a little reminder, wage budget this season, £9,500. We're currently spending down at 6.326. So we've got a few players we will be releasing at the end of their contracts. A few players that I've not really acknowledged that will be leaving us. The likes of Watters, Toby Down. Players who have been useful squad players, players who have featured recently in the first team, but this season just haven't been of the standard required. Anyway, I think that just about concludes things for this season number 3 at Guernsey. Next season, stepping up into the Vanarama National Leagues, making our first footsteps into the divisions that are actually playable normally in Football Manager. And it's certainly at this level that the finances and the difference between us and other teams is going to get bigger. We are going to be a smaller fish. I think the challenge is going to get harder. That said, the board are expecting big things, and I'm certainly hoping that our players are going to be able to make the step up. If you have enjoyed today's video and you want that bonus upload on Sunday, make sure to go down and like the video. I think I've said that enough times now, but just a reminder. Besides that, have a lovely rest of your day. Have a lovely Saturday. I will see you guys hopefully on Sunday. If not, it will be Monday for the start of season number 4. A transfer special awaits, and I hope you guys are excited. I'll see you then.